welcome back to my channel. It's Meek again, and welcome to a new dragging video. You guys, I'm really excited to say we're gonna have a luxury dragging marathon next week. Every single video next week will be a dragging video, but I have other videos to post as well. I have other things I want to share with you. For example, I just got a bunch of luxury perfumes. I wanted to show those to you. I also have a Celine video, I have a Chanel video. So I'll be posting those, I think, at some point this week. But today's video is a dragon video. Next week, every video will be a dragon video. It's so hot today. So I feel like the reflection from the swimming pool part of this veranda is like coming over here. So I think if it looks a little cloudy, it's literally the sun. It's just so bright today. So obviously you saw my video about the row, the drama with the fashion influencer. So I thought it could be fun for us to feature the row in today's dragging video. And baby, let me tell you, the Olsen twins did not disappoint. Let's start off here at the Row's flagship store in New York in America. I visited the store for the second time today. I told the SA I wanted to check out a few pairs of shoes. He said, well, tell me now so I don't have to go back and forth. That felt a little weird, but I thought maybe I was being sensitive. After I tried on the shoes, I realized the pair I liked didn't have my size. I asked if there's other stuff I can look at. He told me he has another appointment coming up. He picked up his personal he said, I have another appointment coming up. Then he picked up like a personal phone call. Overall, this was not a welcoming experience. And if this is the kind of service you have in store, I'd rather stay online. You know, we've talked about this before. I want to be clear. I don't have a problem going into a luxury store, even a flagship, to buy a pair of shoes. But what I found is that SAs really just don't want you to come in there to buy like a pair of shoes. They have this thing about clients buying shoes. I think that they think if you buy shoes that you're like not going to spend a lot of money in the future. I don't know what it is, but it's like across the board, and it's even here at the Row. The next one is the same location. I have to agree with the other reviewers saying how cold and rude the SAs are at this location. I had a pretty woman experience here. They made me feel bad for existing. The SA who first spoke to me disappeared, and so I asked for another one who was there. The first one ran down the stairs as if the second one was trying to steal the sale. I asked for a specific bag in a specific color. I was told it was out of stock. So I asked them if I could leave my contact information and to be notified. They said they were too busy, shoved their business card in my face without making eye contact, and told me to send them an email as if they're doing me a favor. I think, again, you know, like luxury SAs, I'm telling you now, do not want to build relationships. This is why I was saying it's always about money all of the time. They don't want to build relationships with us. Like they don't want to, and honestly, I don't know if I necessarily want to like be best friends with the SA. I do have some pet peeves about the SAs who try and befriend you. That happens a lot, and that's happened to me. And then you can get tricked because you think that the person is one way, but actually they're just trying to befriend you to spend more money. I think this one is unfortunate because they obviously didn't want to sell her the bag. Maybe they weren't going to get the bag in the future, but they had zero intention of wanting to even sell it to her. That's why they were like, okay, you can contact us. That's a very strange way of doing business, but it works. This business is very successful, so people seem to keep going back to get dragged. Same location. I've always loved the Row, and I still do, but the staff is really rude and condescending. I was really uncomfortable. It almost ruined my entire trip. I left the store with my pregnant friend. I overheard one of the SAs say, did they leave yet? That was absolutely insane. It was an out-of-world experience. Yeah, again, some SAs really do have contempt for clients. Like there is this kind of contempt for people. I don't know if they bought anything, and I don't know if maybe that played a role in them getting dragged. The next one is the Row in Paris. I visited the Row boutique in Paris around 6:20 before 7 p.m. My friend and I came to buy a handbag we decided on. Our intention was clear from the start. When we approached one of the staff, members and showed her the item we wanted. She mentioned her colleague would assist us shortly. At that time, there were 3 SAs attending 3 clients, so we completely understood and waited. However, after waiting for more than 40 minutes, no one came to help. During that time, 2 SAs finished with clients and walked past us without acknowledging our presence. We even tried to approach them, but we were ignored. Eventually, one of the security guards noticed and politely said he wasn't sure why the staff hadn't helped us yet. By the time one of the staff finally spoke to us, right at closing time, we were informed that the bag we wanted was not available. What disappointed us the most was the fact that we already, had shown a photo of the bag. It was out of stock. We could have been informed immediately instead of wasting time waiting. It's such a shame a well-respected brand known for philosophy of quiet luxury could overlook basic courtesy. I mean, look, girl, I'm sorry, but cry me a river at this point. I have to say, I said this in the previous video discussing the row. The same exclusivity that the people love about the row is the same exclusivity that creates situations like this. It is completely unacceptable to allow people to sit around in a store and people are waiting to be served, knowing you do not have the item that they want to purchase. I think it might even be worth for a CA to be like, hey, what do you guys want to buy? You want to buy the Margot? No, we don't have any Margaux today. So that the people don't, because if it's the Margot, so the people don't waste their time trying to buy something that's not available. Time is valuable. My time is valuable. My money is valuable. I do not want to sit around waiting to see if you have something in stock. But likewise, I think if you're after something really specific, I would just go online. They do have a concession. This boutique is very close to, it's very close to the Tuileries Gardens and Angelina. In Paris. I swear I've walked past it. Like I've walked past it before and been like, oh, that's the Rose store, whatever. So it's going to have a lot of tourist clientele, but they're also going to have a lot of local clients as well. And this also explains why the twins now are showing in Paris Fashion Week. Obviously, they have this flagship that they're supporting, and they also have that concession at Galeries Lafayette, which is where I have been to see like the quality of their clothing garments. So I think again, it's that same exclusivity that people claim, because people are always defending the twins, honey. And let me tell you, I know some of you think I don't like them. No, I actually like them. I like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I actually like them. I think they're, fantastic. But I don't care for the brand. And I also think that the brand is overrated. I've said it before, but I actually like them. I think they're interesting. I think if Ashley was to do like something else, I think I quite like Ashley. I think I quite like her. I like her style. But again, just drop the whole "we don't speak to the media" act and "we're too good to speak to people" act. I remember someone had reposted, I think it was on TikTok, that they had seen them milling around in Paris and had approached them for a picture, and they graciously declined. I think with stuff like that, I feel like Mary-Kate and Ashley, you can take the picture. Apparently they were super sweet and were like, oh, I'm sorry, we just don't feel like taking pictures today, but like spoke to the person. I mean, I think you can take the picture. I don't think it's a big deal. The next one is the Chanel in Sloane Street in London. We've been customers for years. My husband was about to buy me a bag as a birthday gift, but after being questioned about why he wanted to visit the shop and what he wanted to buy, combined with rude staff telling him what he's looking for as seasonal, he decided to leave without buying anything. Let me tell you, luxury SAs have figured out it is actually really profitable to ask clients if they have any intention of buying something today. This is why I always tell you guys, just make it easy on yourself and be clear that you're buying something today. The number one thing on my Paris wish list is the Ferragamo hug. Number 2 is the Capucine. And then number 3 is one of the Messika diamond pave bracelets. For each of those 3 pieces, I want to go to a standalone store because I want to have that standalone experience. I think Ferragamo do have a standalone flagship, I think, near Vendôme. I think it's near Vendôme. It's somewhere central like that. If I was to go there, or if I was to go to the Messika flagship, which is next to Cartier's Rue de la Paix flagship, I would be really clear, like, hi, I want to buy the Ferragamo hug bag today, or I want to buy a Messika diamond bracelet today. I want to buy the Capucine today. Like, I'm sorry, but I think you need to be really clear what you want to buy today. Like, I know I want to buy those 3 things. come, come hell or high water, I will purchase the hug, the capucine, and the one of the Masika Pave diamond bracelets that I've shown you guys many times before. Those are the three must purchase baits for the next European trip. I wouldn't waste time. So I think you need to be super clear that you're buying something today. And I think it's not to have a go at her husband, because he probably was quite clear that he was making a purchase, and he was absolutely going to buy something. But the fact that he was going there to buy a bag, but I think maybe he was offended that they asked him, are you buying something? That is a sales tactic that they do. And honestly, it works. It does work, because it forces people, the people who are just browsing and looking are really put off by it. And the people who are actually purchasing, I don't know why it keeps going in and out. Sorry, guys. The people who are just actually there to purchase will actually go and buy. The next one is the same location. With the actual essays in this, while the actual essays in the store are great, I was disappointed and left just with disdain with an experience with a security guard. A really nice essay welcomes me. She recognized my special Chanel bag. We talked about my collection, what I was looking to add. While she went to get me a bag, she directed me to a green caviar leather bag on display to look at. I went over and just lightly touched the non-delicate leather and non-light color, and I was rudely told off by a security guard, saying it's on display and not to get my hands and prints on it. His demeanor and attitude was really rude and aggressive. With the many thousands of pounds I've spent at this location, I was astonished. I now shop at 2 other boutiques when in London, even though this boutique is more convenient, even though it's around the corner from where I live. Ooh, honey, she lives, because this is Sloane Street, so like, she lives central, honey. She lives very, very close by. She probably lives on the King's Road. Again, this is just one of those things, we chatted about this before. I'm with the client on this. I know you guys think I never defend clients, but this is obviously a spender. She came in with a unique bag. The essay was nice. The essay was friendly. The essay went to go get her the bag. Security guard was rude. I think that they're just some security guards. Again, we chatted about this before. Some of them have a God complex. Some of them really want you to know that I'm the security guard and I can actually ask you to leave the store. She's buying something. She's buying an expensive Chanel bag. She's wearing a Chanel bag. This is obviously a good client. Just chill out. I think in a situation like this, I would have just said, oh, the essay said that I can touch it. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not allowed to touch it. If the essay said I can touch it, baby, my fingerprints would be touching this bag. Yes, God, my fingers will be touching this bag. So I think sometimes like with these security guards, not all, some security guards are really nice. Others love to power trip, honey. They want you to know that, I've talked about my experience with security guards at different boutiques before. I never let them catch me lacking, and I never let them, ruffle my feathers. So I'm just like, girl, bye. I'm not worried about what you're doing, because I know what you're trying to do. And I have come a long way. I've come from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania to come to these luxury shops. You're not going to ruin my day. And I always tell you guys that. Don't let them ruin your day, particularly if they're being unfair. In this situation, security guards being unfair. She was allowed to take a picture. So why are they, being weird about it? The next one is the Chanel boutique in Sydney, in Australia. Abysmal customer service. I went in there specifically because my son was really curious and wanted to look around. We never felt more unwanted. We shopped in Rome, Milan, Barcelona, and Monaco, never treated like this. Your son was curious and wanted to look around. Was your son trying to buy something? Or was he just there to look around? It's not a museum. Okay? It's not a showroom. It's not we're building these townhouses in this like property that's adjacent to our crib here. And we've already got some interest from some people. And there is one house, one of the townhouses we've built. It's kind of like a show house. And some people, want to see the other units. They look exactly the same. And it's like, the luxury store is not a show house. It is not a showroom. It is not a museum. Okay. It is a store. So if your son was curious and wanted to look around, my son was ultra curious and wanted to look at the brand, wanted to look and buy something, or was just there to look around to feel like, okay, I want to look around. because that to me seems like a waste of time. And I can, you know, I've said it before, I don't agree with going in to be a time waster. The next one is the Louis Vuitton boutique at the Dubai Mall in Dubai in the UAE. I'm extremely disappointed with the service I received at Dubai Mall. As a regular client, an influencer with more than 1 million followers, and an award for the best influencer, I'm accustomed to a certain standard of care from LV. And then she goes on to say how her experiences were really bad. She says on her previous visit, the product quality and lack of support was bad. I purchased an LV scarf, which began to show signs of damage. When I approached your team for an exchange or of a credit note, they refused suggesting a repair instead. She goes on to say she accepted the repair, but it took approximately 2 months for it to be fixed. Repeatedly, when she inquired about the delay, she was told, wait 5 more minutes. Okay, that's crazy. The next one is disrespectful treatment by staff. I experienced a dismissive and rude attitude. This is the influencer at the Dubai Mall, from various staff, including eye-rolling, hand gestures, and condescending service. I'm requesting that this issue be addressed with urgency. The level of service LV should reflect the brand's reputation. This recent experience has unfortunately undermined my trust and loyalty. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like influencers need to, on the other hand, sometimes I feel like brands need to respect influencers, but then on the other hand, it's like, it is giving entitled influencer and everyone needs to kiss my behind. It's like, you bought a scarf. You know, even if you have 1 million followers, that does not entitle you to be treated like a king or a queen. 1 million followers relative to a brand that makes 21 billion euros a year. I mean, you know, sometimes I feel like some influencers are entitled and they do give off that entitled vibe, which I think can also kind of explain why they're getting dragged. Because to me, I don't feel like there's any reason for you to state that you have 1 million followers. Same location, Dubai Mall, Louis Vuitton. I went to buy a handbag. An SA who works there talked to me in a rude way for no reason, made me feel like it's not the place where you can afford things. In my opinion, she thought we weren't close to the bias category. That explained her behavior. I highly recommend her to correct her interactions with customers. I think sometimes when the CA thinks that you won't buy, it can feel very unpleasant. But for me, it really depends how bad it is. If it's like a racially motivated, and it's really obvious when it's a racially motivated experience. I've had those experiences, my husband has too. And it's really obvious. But if it's like the person doesn't want to serve you because they don't think you're going to buy, that's not necessarily like a racially motivated situation. I think in situations like that, I would still, for me, having the item matters more than making a point. I don't know. I don't know. For me, I'll just be like, I'm still going to buy the thing I want to buy. Even if you think that I don't deserve to purchase this item, or even if you think I don't have the money, obviously you do have the money. Same location. The poor customer service. Oh, sorry. My husband was buying me a belt. My husband was buying me a belt as a gift and called me to ask what size I wear. While we're trying to figure it out, the SA offered him a chance to buy a perfume instead, saying it's cheaper. Why? Again, brands, they do this. This has happened to me many times. It's hard not to take it personally, but don't take it personally. I think a really experienced SA knows who's going to buy and who's not. But I also think an experienced SA should be careful the way they upsell you things. That is not upselling because the perfume is more affordable than the belt. Maybe they felt like the CA was trying to imply that they could not afford the belt, so here, buy the perfume. That is not pleasant, I have to say. I agree. The final one is the Louis Vuitton boutique in Cape Town in South Africa. So this is closer to home. I visited the LV boutique today to try some perfumes, but the experience was disappointing. We didn't even spend 5 minutes before the SA who wore glasses started rushing us out, asking if we're going to buy anything. He made us feel unwelcome and even suggested we leave and come back later once we decided. The service was dismissive and unworthy of such a prestigious brand. Now, not to defend the behavior of the CA, because this store is a tough store. My husband's been here and he said it looked very fancy. It's a small boutique. It's smaller than the Johannesburg store, but it's very fancy. They have a lot of top clients in this store. And it's not to defend the CA at all, but I wanted to explain something that's cultural, because a lot of you who are watching are from Western countries and you're from Asia, you're from the Middle East and Latin America, many of you are not from African countries. The African glamazons know what I'm about to say. But in African culture, and I'm willing to say that in South Africa, this is correct. In Tanzania, this is correct. In Nigeria and Ghana, it would be a similar thing. In African culture, I think it is seen as in poor taste to go to a really nice fancy place with no intention to buy. And definitely in our culture, it's kind of seen like you're pretending to have money if you don't buy. I think it comes in our culture anyway. And again, generalizing because each country is different, but this is, I know what the CA is thinking. The CA is thinking, these people have zero intention of buying today. They just want to feel special. That's why the CA was like, come back when you know what you want to buy and when you're ready to buy. That is something that is not surprising, I think, to anyone who is from the African continent. It is definitely seen as, I think, in poor taste. And not saying I necessarily agree, but it's seen as in poor taste to go and act like you're going to buy something and not buy something. Now, to be fair, they actually wanted to buy something. So why were they being treated and being given the third degree? The CA made a decision that they were not going to buy the perfume straight away. And again, that's why if you go into the store and you say, I want to buy something today, that is a stronger way. I think just straight away. For me, there's so much implicit bias in luxury. And me and my husband were instantly judged in every luxury store we walk into. So I'm always just super clear. It doesn't matter even if it's a perfume at Louis Vuitton. I'll be like, hey, I want to buy a Track Rev on the beach. I want to see some of the new perfumes. I want to buy one, at least buy one or two or even three today. Can you show them to me? Something like that where it's really clear. But I think if it's I just want to try some perfumes on, or I just want to look at perfumes today, the CA thinks you're not going to buy. And that's why the CA was like, okay, come back when you're ready. That is not shocking for many of us in our culture on the African continent, because I think in African culture, it is seen as in poor taste that you're going to an expensive fancy shop with zero intention of purchasing that day, unless they know you. Particularly in this situation, obviously they don't know these people, so they feel like they're wasting time. So what do you think about today's dragging video? And what do you think about today's selection? I can't wait for next week, luxury dragging marathon. Okay, every single video next week will be a dragging video. Hopefully I won't exhaust all the tales from all over the world. My husband's like, you can never exhaust the tales because these brands are just ridiculous and treat customers absolutely insane. But yeah, with the Cape Town one, it's you really need to make it clear. I can see the CA just being come back later when you want to buy something. The CA was basically calling their bluff. And many of you who are not African are going to think that is outrageous. Those of us who are from different African countries know that this happens a lot in a lot of shops. Oh, we're just looking. Okay, come back when you're ready to make a decision. Because sometimes it can feel like the person is just there because they want to feel special and they have zero intention of buying something today. So I think one of the merch, I'm creating the merch now. I think the merch will be available by the end of either the end of December or the beginning of January. And definitely I have to reference I want to buy something today. Because it's just become an inside joke in this channel now. Love to know what you think about everything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit notifications. Sign up to the newsletter. I'll send a newsletter at some point, I think this week, because I'm back online now. So yeah, I would love to have your support moving forward. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.